going on? It's Elusive here. We're back with another CBR video. The bike's been off the channel for, I don't know, a few weeks maybe. But yeah, as far as what happened to the bike is, I had a leak in the radiator. A fucking rock chip or something happened, and I had to replace the radiator because it had a leak in it, and yeah, all that fun stuff. So now the bike's fine again. It appears we have no coolant leak anymore. If we do, I'll find out where it is and we'll get it fixed. But as far as I know right now, it's pretty good. Today's topic of the video, I don't know if it's really a big topic or nothing, but today's premise of the video is talking about this bike because it just hit 20 years old this year. So that's kind of crazy. 20-year-old sport bike, and mine currently has 48,500 miles. We'll hit some twisties here real quick. Gravelly over here. Someone's adding gravel to these roads, I feel like. Alright, so as I was saying before we hit the twisty, I always like these roads. These roads are always really cool to hit. There's not many twisty roads here in Wisconsin, so you gotta appreciate the ones you do have. So yeah, as I was saying, this bike just hit 20 years old. Which is kind of absurd because 20 years old is the same age as me. Like, I'm currently 20 years old right now. And that's kind of insane. Do you think about it? Just thinking about cars and bikes in general, about how they can hit 20 years old and still run like a champ. Like, this thing is probably one of my favorite things I've ever owned. Not obviously the favorite thing I've ever owned, but it's definitely one of my favorite things I've purchased in my life. And it's definitely been a dream come true to be able to have a running bike like this and have it be so reliable for how much I beat on it. But yeah, these sport bikes in general, dude, they can take a mad fucking beating. Like, these things are just ridiculously reliable, and even when I'm beating on this thing, it's fucking ridiculously reliable. I mean, obviously it's 20 years old, so it's gonna have its own problems, but honestly, for being 20 years old, this thing looks really fucking good. This thing handles really good, and it's just a kind of timeless look for this thing. It never goes out of style, I feel like. And then the undertail exhaust too just makes this thing look really, really good. And it's one of my favorite looking bikes of the generations of CBRs. Definitely my favorite looking CBR. Tunnel quick. Little tunnel pull. The crazy part about these bikes is they're so old, but so reliable. Like yes, R6s too have been out for a very long time, and still have ZX6Rs from Kawasaki. They've all been out for a really long time as well, and they're all very reliable as well. But I just feel like Honda in general just has this super weird thing that they're just so reliable. Like, every vehicle they've made is just so reliable, I feel like. Not even just bikes in general, but like cars in general too. I guess it's just hard for me to wrap around the idea that these things are 20 years old, because the fact that I'm 20, it makes it really weird to feel like this thing is 20 years old. Because it doesn't even look 20 years old, and it does not feel 20 years old for sure. This bike is just proof that all you need to do to a Honda bike to make it reliable as hell is just basic ass maintenance. It's kind of absurd. What the fuck is that thing, dude? That thing is absurd. It's like a damn tank. That's insane. Oof, my nuts. Damn, bruh. Shit backed up. What the fuck is you looking at, Mr. Truck Boy? Just trying to cross the street like a damn chicken. Put that bitch in neutral. What the fuck you looking at, Tesla boy? Man, you don't got no engine, huh? This is also gonna be like a 20-year-old video versus my first year riding video. So I officially have had this bike for over a year now. Kind of crazy, mainly because I feel like it hasn't been that long, and I've also put almost 5,000 miles in this thing. which, I mean, it kind of feels like a lot. It really isn't that much, but for my first year, I put on like, I don't know, over 3,000 miles, I feel like. And that was kind of absurd. This bike has been absolutely amazing to learn on, and it's been absolutely a blast. And the only thing I've had to replace in this stuff was just basic ass maintenance or things that decided to break from rock chips or whatever else I did to it. So I don't know, man, it's been insane. It's been definitely a blast for sure. The crazy part about bikes is, dude, it does not feel like you're going fast at all a lot of the time. Like once you get used to like the speed of the bike, I feel like it just feels like you're not going, like speed is like almost not a thing anymore. Like unless I'm going 120 or 130, I feel like I'm not going fast at all. That's the crazy part, dude. It's like these things make you really learn how slow cars are, dude. It's insane. I feel like the best part about these bikes getting older is the fact that there were so many made. Like I feel like there was a ridiculous amount of these made, because I see them like ridiculous amount on everything. The fact that there's so many of these made, there's so many parts for them. I mean, there's obviously certain stuff like the fuel pump situation where they're selling them for a ridiculous amount of money. Like I think it was $600 or $500 almost for a fuel pump for this thing. Kind of crazy. Besides like stuff like that, for the most part, parts on these things are pretty easy to come by and not ridiculously expensive. And to begin with, these bikes are really cheap to buy. Like a lot of people are selling them for the $3,000 to $4,000 range, which, yeah, for a 20-year-old bike, it sounds like a fuck ton. But in reality, these things are way more reliable than some of the bikes coming out nowadays. Now, in my specific situation, I bought this bike for, I believe it was $2,500. It was some ridiculously low price. It needed nothing. It needed nothing. All it needed was really a set of fairings. Yeah, I mean, it really needed nothing when I bought the bike for it to run right. Everything ran great. Had no leaks when I bought it. Yeah, it's just been an amazing bike, and it's taught me a lot of maintenance things it's taught me, and it's really just been a great bike, and it has never really been a major problem. The only things it's really caused me problems wise is things that I've done, like I've not done correctly. This thing is faster than like most bikes on the road. Obviously it's not going to be faster than 1,000 cc's, but most 600cc bikes are not going to be able to beat this thing, I feel like. There's a lot of bikes out there that just lose to this thing after the power curve, like after like 10,000 RPM, this thing is just gone. Sorry if it's windy out here. It's kind of a windy ass motherfucking day. This thing is actually really fun to take on like road trips and stuff too, because we went on a little longer bike ride, me and my buddy John. We went to a bigger car meet kind of show thing they have in Wisconsin here. And we went, it was about 2 hours from us. And we took a, you know, a 2-hour trip on the bike, and that was a lot of fun. My first ever longer trip on the bike. I know 2 hours isn't ridiculously long. Some of you take them on like 16-hour rides and stuff. I hope to someday. For my first ever time taking the bike out on a longer ride, it did great. I had no problems. Yeah, it was just great. It was a great ride, and yeah, I mean, with it being a sport bike, obviously it had a, you know, it was a little tougher than maybe going on with a touring bike, but it's definitely one of those things you get used to, where it being an uncomfortable ride. Personally, it wasn't that uncomfortable. I had a good time on it, and yeah, I mean, it was a great time. So these things are even good for long rides, and you know, some people don't want to admit it. They are good for long rides. It's just not the most ideal thing, obviously, compared to most bikes out there right now. I would say my least favorite part about the bike is having any work you have to do with this bike. All the fairings have to come off. That's my least favorite part, but that's to be expected with any full fairing bike. So it's just my least favorite part, is that all the fairings and all the nonsense with the fairings. It's so much easier to work on like a fairingless bike, or even like a half fairing bike. I feel like this bike in general just is ridiculously not fun to work on when all the fairings are on it. But yeah, I mean, it's whatever. It's a full fairing bike. That's what you get. So you know that going into it. I just wish they kind of designed stuff around the fairings a little more. Like I wish they would make the, you know, some of the stuff more accessible. Like the coolant reservoir could be more accessible to be able to fill that and check that. yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I would probably change. Not saying it's a terrible thing, it's just some stuff I would probably change about this bike if I had the option to. Or there's a lot better ways to design it, I should say. It smells like some actual cow buddhisy out here. Welcome to small town Wisconsin. I have actually no idea where I am right now. I figured I'd just go out for a ride and see what the fuck it takes me. Literal just farm city out here, dude. That's all I see. If I had to describe to you what it smells like out here, it's like crawling into a cow's asshole. That's what it smells like 100%. I can smell it through my helmet too. Got homeboy cutting his grass out here. Home girl, I should say. Sorry ma'am, didn't mean to offend. Well, it's definitely always fun going to the country sometimes. Like, I personally live in the city, and not for much longer, but I do live in the city, and it's definitely really cool sometimes going on the country and just seeing how shit is. I don't know, it's pretty cool. Look at this little shit. Going some off-roading today. Hopefully I'll get out of this shit. Hopefully this isn't someone's land. I don't think it is. It looks pretty open, dude. That's okay. Oh my god, this thing's fucking heavy. I forgot how heavy this thing was. Ooh. Ooh. That's why I love the country, bro. You can do whatever the fuck you want, pretty much. So yeah, here's how this bad boy sits. And yeah, as you can see, the Midori green fairings. Some of your guys' thoughts on that still. We wrapped the bike in Midori green by TinyBot. Personally, a big fan of the color. Sorry, I'm out of breath because I just moved this bike. I am very unathletic. So yeah, here we sit. Fucking Miller Lite can, dude. Get that shit out of here. Yeah, here we at, dude. I just feel like bikes in general are just so fucking underrated, dude. Like they're ridiculously cheap and they go ridiculously fast, but they're ridiculously dangerous. But yeah, I mean, that's a different video in its own aspect. But I still think everybody should own a bike in their life, and if you're at least on the fence about it, at least do your research and then understand what you're gonna be getting into, the dangers of it all. But for the most part, dude, enjoy your life. Fucking live your life and do what you want to do. Get a bike, dude. If that's something you really want to do, don't let someone be like, well, bikes are dangerous. Yeah, well, so is not living your life, bro. That's my 2 cents for today. Yeah, with that being said, guys, I hope you guys liked the video. This bike is officially 20 years old now, which is as old as me. It's kind of crazy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. More bike videos to come in the future. Be sure to check out those when they come out, or the rest of the videos on the channel. They're all on the channel, so be sure to check them out. That being said, we'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, motherfuckers. Take care.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you try.